Hello, welcome to Getting Real with Andrew Cohen. I am your host, Andrew Cohen, and we have a great show for you today. We have, who do we have on here? We have, you can see in the title, we have Robert Capron. Robert Capron, he's a phenomenal guy. This was, I think, as you can see, it's our longest interview. It's a bit tedious, but I think we can make it work. I think it's very interesting. It's actually, it has the best quality out of all of them, out of all the ones. This is another sort of former Five Live comedy interview. It has the best of the former Five Live comedy, I guess, audio. Let's open up my window here. It looks good out here. Yeah. You gotta open up, you gotta be able to look outside and to see nature. Well, in this case, darkness, but nature and, how gets the ideas flowing, Yeah, anyways, I don't know why I said that. It's the best quality. I think you'll really like it. He's a cool guy. It's probably one of my biggest interviews I've ever gotten. So I'm very excited that I can share this on a very happy Friday, I can say, and that it'll be good. So, I was thinking the other day, I had a moment of crisis today. I think one of the things about being an artist and being a sort of a teenage artist is that you always kind of feel like that you're never going to succeed. You know what I mean? Like, you don't feel like, let me tell you what happened. I had this feeling today that, I got really depressed today. I got really depressed, and it was because I think I felt like that, I'm not going to achieve anything. I think that feeling comes sometimes as a teenager, and I guess this is, how do you say this? This is, I feel like sometimes that, life gets too much, like sometimes I just, sometimes you feel like you can't accomplish everything, and then it makes you sad. Like, I was checking my podcast downloads numbers today. It was first day. I was checking, and it was the first day, and it was 6. There was only 6 downloads on the entire podcast. So I was like, ugh, this is terrible. And then that was the start of it, and then it was kind of a building up from there. Like, I had to do this English project where I had to find a red curtain. I had to find a red curtain, but it had to blend into a background that I was putting on its own site, so it had to be the curtain at the sides and then the top. So I just need to remove the background, so I found an image, and I was like, okay, I'll just remove the background. That sounds so simple. It's not. It's not simple at all to remove a background. It's a piece of shit to remove a background. That's what it is. It's really fucking hard to remove a background. I don't know if you know. From an image, it's I spent I looked at the time, it was 3:15, then I'm trying to do it, and it was 4:45 when I ended. I was like, shit, what happened to all that time? In that entire time, I was just trying to remove the background from an image. It pissed me off because then I felt like I was kind of wasting my life. I basically wasted. And then I eventually figured it out, but I had to pay I'd fucking pay $2 to use this other program to do it, and it pissed me off because there was no free program out there. It would be I guess because I was using it, and then for some reason I had to go through PayPal to enter the fee, and then for some reason I had used PayPal. I'm not 18 yet, so then it denied me PayPal, so I couldn't even buy the thing. And I had to make accounts to things I don't even want to make accounts to. When you're signing up on a site and then you're kind of forced to you're on a site and then you're just trying to do a simple thing. You just want to let me take something. You just want to turn a YouTube video into an MP3. That's a very simple thing to do online. Then you could go to some sites and they kind of make you, put in your email address and make an account. And then 2 days later, you're getting emails from these people, and that's how spam started. That's the whole idea of spam, is people being forced to sign up for things. It's a hierarchy. I'm trying to get rid of it. I'm trying to do something about it, and it's terrible. It's a terrible thing. It's, everybody talks about, how Trump's the worst thing in America. I think it's people. I think it's companies who force other people to sign up for their shit. I think that is the worst thing in America right now. You could argue with me all you want. I think I'm right. So that's my little rant for today. Yeah. So let's get into the interview. This is please enjoy the interview. This is my talk with Robert Capron from. Oh yeah, and I forgot. I should have said this. He's, if you don't know Robert Capron, he is known for his performance as Rowley Jefferson in the Diary of a Wimpy Kid franchise, and he was amazing in that. It was an amazing interview, and he's just a really interesting guy, and I think you guys will really like it, and I definitely enjoyed talking to him. And so this is my conversation with. Oh shit! I almost said Rowley Jefferson. No, this is my conversation with Robert Capron. Enjoy.
Ace Podcast.
Robert, how you doing today?
Oh, I'm just great. How about you?
Good. Yeah. Sorry about I had to postpone this. See, I had one of those mornings where I slept in longer than I was supposed to.
Yeah. No, don't worry about it. It's fine. I haven't had one of those moments yet because I tend not to sleep late in general.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've never overslept.
Yeah.
But I always like having a certain amount of like cushion time. Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah.
Like I want to be up like an hour before I have to do something just so I can kind of wake up and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like there was this one time where in college I woke up. I take pride in the fact that I never overslept and missed a class, which is something I feel like a lot of college kids cannot say. So I take pride in that.
But
there was one time where I woke up.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
But there was one time I woke up like 5 minutes before a class was supposed to start, and I made it there on time, but that was very uncomfortable. I never want to do that again. I just started freaking out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I listened to this. Do you listen to comedians?
Yeah. I mean, yes and no.
Yes and no.
Do you mean like podcasts?
No, not like podcasts. Like actual like stand-up comedians. Like
Yeah, like I've seen a couple specials here and there. Yeah.
I was listening to this comedian's name is Mike Birbiglia.
Okay, that actually sounds kind of familiar.
He's like kind of famous, but he's like he's an independent comedian. He's not like a big star, but he's like pretty famous, and he tells a lot of these stories about when he goes to the airport. He always arrives 2 hours early. He likes to say he's a professional traveler, arriving 2 hours early before the gate. So yeah. I feel like it is good to be pretty prideful on that. That is something to be prideful on. Going to class on time. That's a lot of people.
Oh yeah. I mean, but like the thing is I think that just kind of got ingrained in my head from working on set and stuff, because I always wanted to get on set early no matter what, just because of me being like when I did Wimpy Kid, for example. I was like 11, and all I could think of was, I have to make the best impression possible, blah, 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 blah. So I was a little overzealous at times, for sure.
Yeah.
But I would always get to set at least 20 minutes earlier than I was probably supposed to, just because I never, ever wanted to be late. The funny thing was that sometimes we take cars together, and I'd be with people who would show up 15 minutes late. So I'd end up just sitting there for like a half hour and not doing anything.
Really?
So, but yeah, I don't know. Like I didn't want to inconvenience anybody, because something that people definitely forget sometimes is that it is work.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a budget that goes into it, and there are people that are
Yeah.
getting paid, and if you mess up, there is a good chance that you will be penalized. You know?
Penalized is that another word for fired, or you're just penalized?
Yeah, it's. I mean, it kind of depends on the position.
I
Like,
yeah.
yeah,
I'd imagine
most of
like
the
it's
time
yeah.
it's fired.
Okay, so yeah, there's no like there's it's not like school where there's like a three strike system. You got your first strike, Johnny.
Yeah,
Okay? It's not like that. No.
yeah. It also kind of depends on the person. Like, if you've got sometimes sets are willing to put up with a lot with like an A-list actor, so to speak, if they're
Yeah.
like high maintenance. And I never ever want to be that way. No, like the
Yeah.
worst, one of the most probably embarrassed I've ever been was there was one time it was I think it was during like Wimpy Kid 1, and they actually did
Yeah.
this on multiple sets since.
Mm-hmm.
But on really hot days, they would have people bring us umbrellas to shield us from the sun. And I just refused to have anything to do with that.
Really?
I was, yeah, no, I was just like, no, I'm not going to stand with an umbrella over my face to guard me from the sun. It just feels so, I don't know the
People
word,
were like
vain,
overprotective of you, I
maybe?
guess.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Like, eventually they made me use it because their
Yeah.
argument was that, if you sweat, then it makes the makeup run off and whatnot. But
Yeah.
it's just, I don't know.
It
I
has to
would
be
always just feel
annoying.
bad if they gave it to me and I would see, like, crew members who are
Yeah.
probably working harder than I am,
Yeah.
just sweating and stuff. I don't
Yeah.
know. That just
You
didn't really
you
sit
felt
right with me.
oh, so you're more of those type of guys is good because you're one of those guys who think like it's you want to like it for to be fair.
Yeah. I
Hmm.
just, I mean, something I've talked about a lot with like my friends, I guess, is just that I mean, acting is definitely work, and I definitely
Yeah.
love it, and there definitely is work that goes into it. But at the same time, there are so many jobs that require like much more strenuous work, like even on a film set.
Hmm.
And so especially when heat is an issue, it just never really made sense for me to just be sitting there with like my own personal fan. Like you've got guys who are like lifting things and moving like left and right for hours
Yeah.
and they get nothing. That just didn't really sit right with me.
Yeah. Like why do I get a fan while this PA doesn't get a
Yeah,
fan?
no,
Yeah.
exactly. It's just yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's probably actors out there like that who are not sort of the greatest at that. There are probably actors out there who are very, the opposite of what you're talking about, who sort of
Yeah, no, I mean there definitely are. I've been pretty lucky in that everybody I've worked with so far, I've never really had a real diva or
a
prima
diva.
donna, so to
Okay.
speak.
Uh
You
huh.
know, I've always had people that were really really great. Like with the Wimpy kid, when we were filming
Hmm.
the third one, Steve Zahn, who played Greg's dad.
Yeah.
After filming, he would have us over his hotel room. We'd all just sit around and eat pizza and play video games.
Oh my.
Yeah, and like I
What
realize
a father
now.
figure.
No, yeah. No, but like I realize now that he totally did not have to do that. Like that's something when you're a
Yeah.
kid, you kind of just take it for granted like, "Oh, everybody's nice and we're all holding
Yeah.
hands."
He
But when
didn't
you
have
think
to.
about that, like
Wow.
he totally did not have to hang out with us like that.
Hmm.
And I will always really appreciate that.
Wow. Yeah. Because I mean, I just lost my train of thought.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
It happens to be every day.
Hmm. So yeah, but I mean, you've have you worked with anybody sort of going back to sort of that person who is like sort of crazy? I guess I don't know what you were saying. Kind of. Have you ever worked with somebody, or you've heard about somebody who's worked with somebody who's sort of that sort of diva?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like it's funny because I've actually worked with people that I've been told are really tough to deal with, but they've always been incredibly nice to me.
Hmm.
Like, well, I technically I never actually worked with this person, but this is one of my favorite stories ever. This is probably what really made me want to be an actor.
Uh
The
huh.
first thing I ever did, I did this movie called Bride Wars, right?
Hmm.
And I had a 10-second part in it, but for some inexplicable reason, they invited me to the premiere.
Hmm.
And I mean, I was thrilled, but
Yeah.
looking back, I shouldn't have been invited because my part was so small. But anyways,
Uh huh.
so I got to go to the premiere, and while I was there, my dad taps me on the shoulder and says, "Don't turn around, but Toby Maguire is 4 rows behind you." And I was a colossal fan of the original Spider-Man
Yeah.
movies, and I mean, I still am. Like
Yeah.
those
Those are
are
amazing movies, I have to say.
those are a defining part of my childhood. I really like the new Spider-Man too, though. Like they took
Yeah.
him in a different direction. I
Yeah.
like it, but anyways, so I didn't really believe my dad, and then eventually I turn around and he is actually there, and
Totally. Oh, wow.
he's waving to somebody else to my right, but I'm 8 years old,
Yeah.
so I think he's waving to me.
Oh.
So I start flipping out. I jump up. I'm like waving. I'm going like, oh my god, you're Spider-Man. Oh my god. And then he looks at me, and there's like a couple seconds where we're just kind of looking at each other. And 8-year-old me realizes he wasn't waving at me, and he's just kind of staring at me. And then he just started doing the exact same thing back to me.
Oh my
And
god.
I was so happy.
Yeah.
And the entire movie, I was just sitting there like
Mhm.
internally crying.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, I got to run into him, and he signed something for me.
Oh.
And that was what really, really made me just realize that, like, it really made me realize if I could do that for somebody, that's really all I want to do, you know?
Yeah.
But so the reason why I brought that up was because, like, after that, I've heard all these stories of people saying that, like, oh, he's really rude to fans and stuff. I mean, he totally could have blown me off, you
Yeah.
know? And I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it kind of depends on the circumstance. I think everybody kind of has a bad day, and
Mhm.
I think the number one thing that people forget with people at that level
Yeah.
is that they are just people
Mhm.
ultimately, you know? But at the same time, there definitely are people that have let it go onto their head.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going to deny that. I'm
Mhm.
sure there's plenty of people that are. I think my biggest strength and my biggest weakness as a person is that I'm always willing to make excuses for why somebody did something wrong. Just because
Mhm.
I don't know, I try to see the best in people, but sometimes I
Yeah.
just have to accept the fact that there are some people that are just, you
Yeah.
know.
That's what actually I kind of just experienced that actually. I was working on writing this TV show with my friend, and so I try to be like you. I try to see the best in people, and so we had this actress who kept coming in late. She would,
Yeah.
and you're like, but she's okay. And she's like, she's coming in late. She's kind of being mean to us. She's like, but and then eventually I had to be like, okay, yeah, we have to recast her. We have to recast this actress.
Mm.
So yeah, I know it's like you have to really come to terms sometimes. But speaking of Star Trek, is Starstruck. So is that the biggest person you've ever been sort of starstruck by?
Um. See, the thing is, and this is going to come across really, I don't even know the word, but I don't even mean it like this. Like, this is just
Yeah.
me. But
No,
there are
no.
times where I'm watching something and I think about it and I'm like, oh, I actually met that person. And I know that sounds really vain, I guess. I don't know if
Yeah.
that's the right word again.
Yeah.
But no, like, it's just, I've been really lucky in that I've met a lot of people
Yeah.
really briefly. Like
Yeah.
I met speaking of Spider-Man,
Yeah.
I met the guy who played Doc Ock in Spider-Man 2 while we were filming the
Doc
second
Ock.
Wimpy
Who
Kid
was
movie.
that? What was that like?
His name's Alfred Molina.
Alfred
His real
Molina.
name. Yeah,
Okay.
I have a lot of respect for him as an actor.
Yeah.
He's a good actor. But I remember like he was coming out of a hotel the hotel I stayed in. And I was going
Yeah.
in, and I just looked at him, and again, me being an idiot as a child, I just said, "You're Doc Ock," and he
Yeah.
was like, "Yeah, I know."
Yeah.
And it was that was pretty embarrassing.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, my first ever real movie scene was with Anne Hathaway in Bride Wars. Like I had
Yeah.
dialogue with her and everything, so that was pretty cool.
Mhm.
And with the way back, I got to meet Steve Carell. And one of my biggest regrets is I didn't watch The Office before I met Steve Carell.
Oh.
Because I watched The Office afterwards. I was just like, oh, if I watched the show, I would have had so much more, like, you
To
know?
talk to him about.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm
Mhm.
glad I didn't because I didn't want to come across as that really awkward, like.
Yeah. I bet like these celebrities probably, some of them probably don't like, when people keep bringing it as like, yeah, I know, I was Michael Scott. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I mean, sometimes I even get like that with Rowley.
Mhm. Yeah.
Just in that, I don't know. I mean,
Mhm.
I've changed a lot since those movies. It's
Oh yeah,
gotten to the point.
I remember
It,
seeing those movies. You've
yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
Mhm.
But it's gotten to the point where, uh, or like the thing is, I will always be indebted to those movies no matter what. Those were a
Yeah.
colossal part of my childhood. I wouldn't be the person I am today if it wasn't for those movies. Sometimes I think about what my life would have been like if I hadn't been in those movies, and it's kind of weird to think about.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, in terms of my career, I don't want to just be defined by that role,
Yeah.
you know?
You want other roles.
Right. Like I was very, very careful about being typecast post Wimpy Kid as like the chubby sidekick that everybody made fun of.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, you don't seem that chubby anymore. You don't
Yeah,
seem chubby.
no, that's one of the
Yeah.
things. There's like three things I get all the time now when it has to do
Hmm.
with like acting. They say, "Oh my gosh, wait, you were in movies, you were in Wimpy Kid, and then but you look so different."
Hmm.
It's and then a question I often get a lot is like, do people still recognize you? And yes and no. You'd be
Hmm.
surprised by the amount of people that do. Like I'm surprised by the amount of people that still do, particularly
Yeah.
with like that role.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people. Somebody told me that I have a kind of distinctive voice, and they figured it out that way, and I think that's true. Like my voice sounds, I don't know, like it's gotten a little deeper, but it's still kind
Hmm.
of sounds the same. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah, that kind of makes sense. But if I had no idea who you were, I wouldn't even recognize you from your
Yeah.
role. Yeah. So,
Yeah, no,
mhm.
it's oh no, what were you
Okay.
gonna say?
Uh, no, but I understand what you're saying. You really want to, I see you really want to like sort of get into more roles that sort of you want to sort of be a more sort of. Do you want to see? I don't know if I'm using the right word, like a more mature actor.
Yeah, no, that's the right way of putting it. And
Hmm.
thankfully, after post Wimpy Kid, I didn't really have a role like that, so to speak,
Hmm.
like as the comedic relief kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, like I mean, since then, well, the Three Stooges counts. I mean, I was young curly. That's the living
Yeah.
definition of what I was talking about.
Yeah.
But that was pretty fun to do at the same time. But no,
Hmm.
since then, I mean, I've done 5 episodes of the show called Elementary on CBS, and I like my role on
Yeah.
that a lot. It's nice to be able to pop up on that every once in a while. And just a
Hmm.
movie this summer that was very much the opposite of that, called The Polka King,
Yeah.
with yeah, where
I was
I
about
got to
to
play
ask you about that.
Jack Black's son in that. Yeah, so that
Wow.
was really cool. And I actually got that through the people that wrote and directed it were the people that wrote Wimpy Kid 3. And when they were looking
Really?
for somebody to cast
They knew
for
you.
Jack Black's son, it's funny because while I was filming all the Wimpy Kid movies, the person who did makeup would always tell me that I could play a young Jack Black. And I always
Hmm.
thought, oh, well,
I
I
could
don't
definitely
know.
see that.
Maybe.
I can,
Yeah.
yeah, I can definitely see you playing a young Jack Black.
Yeah. And so I always kind of thought to myself like, oh yeah, I mean we'll see what happens. We'll see where that goes. And like it and eventually the writers from Wimpy Kid 3 were doing a movie and they were like, "Oh, we need
Hmm.
somebody to play his son." And then they had me audition. They were like, "Oh, you look completely different." And I was like, "Well, yeah." And they were like, "Ah, but you'll still work. It's fine. You could do
Yeah,
it." I was just like, "Oh, good. Okay."
what'd been really funny is if you went in as like a fake name just to see if they
Yeah.
recognize you or not.
Yeah,
That
that
would have
that
been,
would have been kind of funny.
yeah. And then you say, "Oh wait," then they say, "Oh, so Jimmy McGill." So I think we're gonna
Jimmy
cast.
McGill.
I don't even
Slippin'
know.
Jimmy. They just did you see they announced the premiere date for season 3
Oh my god!
yesterday?
No, actually, it's you're gonna say it's ridiculous. I haven't seen it yet. I just because my parents have seen it yet. It's on my list. I have a
Oh
really
yeah.
long list of TV shows. I have great.
Oh,
It's
I do too,
right.
man. I do
Yeah,
too.
right now I'm watching The Night Manager. Uh,
Oh, it's see that was a show I literally said I'm going to watch this when it actually comes out, and I just completely forgot about it.
yeah,
And then 3 episodes in, like
yeah.
after it was airing, but I hadn't seen it, I just said, okay, I'll catch up to this at some point. Where do
Hmm.
you watch it? Is it on like
I
Hulu or something like
It's
that?
on Amazon Prime.
Oh, it's on Amazon, so I
Do you get
can
Amazon?
watch it.
Yes,
Okay.
it's all free. It's on the Prime, so you just get all 6 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Did you? So you haven't seen it yet?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
I haven't seen
Oh, okay.
Stranger Things. I
Me
haven't seen
neither. People are
Westworld.
surprised. People are
Yeah.
surprised. They're like, "You haven't seen Stranger Things?" I'm just like, "No, I have other things to do."
Yeah. No, it's in college.
Hmm.
I I did not. This is gonna sound really weird. I did not
Yeah,
watch Netflix like my entire first semester, and it
really.
wasn't that I didn't want to. I just didn't have time. Because
Hmm.
like if I was, I think this semester I'm gonna try to put aside a bit more time for like me.
Hmm.
But like no, last semester, if I wasn't with this group of people, I was with that group of people, and if I wasn't with anybody, I was studying, and I just
Hmm.
didn't have time. Like I legit
Yeah.
never watched Netflix.
Hmm. Are these people, the people that your friends in college, are they ever shocked when at the first when you were that they're friends with you? Because I was shocked. I was like, what happened was, so you started texting me, and so I was like, this is the weirdest thing that's ever happened. Because I told my friend, I was like, shit, Robert Capron is texting me, and
Yeah.
I was like, what is this? I was like, this is amazing, and that he just texted me. He was like, boy, I don't know. He's one of those people. They're like the BOI. They're just
Yeah.
like, and then the like the I. They're like, yeah. So that was actually that it kind of made my day.
Oh,
But
I appreciate that.
because it was like I was like, this is the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. Uh, like being texted by a celebrity. That was it. It was because to a lot of people, I mean, I know you don't see it, but to a lot of people, you are a celebrity.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
mean,
What do your friends think? Do your friends sort of?
yeah, like I think honestly my favorite moment from my first semester. So
Hmm.
three of my three best friends at Brown,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah.
I didn't tell them about Wimpy Kid for the first 2.5, 3 months. And then one day we were all getting lunch in one of like the dining halls. Well, it wasn't like one of the dining
They
halls. It was
decided
like
to
a
go on IMDb.
cafe thing. So one of my friends says to another one of my friends, "Dude, you look a lot like Roderick in Diary of Wimpy Kid." And the best part was he didn't look like Roderick at all. Like the comment made no sense.
Yeah,
So I'm just sitting there like, "No, he doesn't."
yeah,
And then I think and then so my friend who supposedly looked like Roderick says, "Oh,
yeah.
well, let me see a picture of him." And I was like, "No, no, no, wait, just like look up the entire cast." And so he's like, "Okay." And so he Googles like Diary of a Wimpy Kid cast. He's like, "What's the guy's name?" And I was like, "Devin Bostic." And he's like, "Okay, Zach Gordon, Greg Heffley, Robert Capron, Robert Capron." And he literally just started screaming.
Is
And he
it
was like, "What?
is it
Like, what
pronounced
is this?"
is it pronounced Capron or Capron?
Yeah. So
Capron. Oh my god, I was
my
saying
last
Capron.
my last name
Yeah,
makes no sense.
yeah,
It is spelt Capron.
yeah,
The majority of people say Capron,
yeah.
but it's Capron. It makes
Capron.
no sense at all.
I was saying Capron. You didn't. You could have corrected me.
No, it's
Yeah,
honestly it's gotten to I just let people say their thing.
just let people say
Like
it.
no, yeah, like I do.
Mhm.
Like yeah, it's just
Yeah, so they started losing it. So what happened after that? It's just
oh well, yeah. I mean, my friend just started flipping out. It was like,
yeah,
why the heck? Like, you really didn't say anything for 3 months, and I was like, well, yeah. I mean, I didn't really see the need to, and that friend has gone on to say that I am the most humble human being in the history of
that's
mankind
very humble. You do. You
because he
wanted to be a
literally
normal guy, right? You just wanted to be a
right because
normal guy.
right. Well, and like it's a step beyond that though. It's not even that I want to be a normal guy. It's that as far as I'm concerned, I am a normal guy.
Yeah, you seem
I
like a normal
like
guy.
I don't. It's tough because on the one hand, I don't want to discredit like the experiences I've had. Like I'm really lucky for somebody my
Yeah.
age, the things I've
Hmm.
been able to do because of my career and whatnot. But on the
Yeah.
other hand, I don't like. I don't know. I just don't see the. I don't see the value in flaunting it. I don't even think sometimes it's. I don't even think it's something worth like flaunting. Like I think it's like a cool little side story
Hmm.
maybe of who I am. Like I don't know. It's tough.
Hmm.
I have a tough
Yeah.
time figuring out like how exactly I
How do you
want to
bring
talk
that
about
into
it. I do not want to
conversation?
be the type of person.
Yeah.
The last thing I wanted to be when I first got to college was just walk into a room and be like, "Oh, hi everybody. I'm a movie star. Say
Yeah.
hi to me. Pay attention to me."
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't
That's
like that.
yeah. Um, like talking about like people like that. I mean, when you were talking about sort of Toby Maguire, I think some of the things you can tell from seeing them perform is like, is this person nice or mean? Do you ever see that?
Yeah, like I don't know. Somebody I'm a really big fan of. This is me going like full out dork mode.
Yeah.
But
No, it's
but somebody
fine.
I'm a really big fan of is Lin-Manuel Miranda, the guy who wrote Hamilton. And
Yeah.
half the reason why I'm a big fan of him is not only because I'm a total history geek and I just
Yeah.
that oh my god, I just love
Yeah.
that entire play.
Mhm.
But but like half the reason I love him is just because he's a guy I feel actually deserves a lot of the praise he's been given, in that he just seems like a really down to earth, smart guy. You know,
Mhm. So,
like
mhm.
I respect that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think I remember seeing an interview with him on PBS. I think they were doing like a special with
Yeah, yeah, I
Hamilton.
saw that.
Yeah, he does seem like a very, humble guy, and it took him a really long time to make Hamilton. It took him like what, 5 years?
Yeah,
Was it?
like no, I mean he had a while where he was writing a song a year, and then
Mhm.
eventually the Alex Lacamoire, I think it was either him or the director pretty much just said, okay, you need to move quicker. Like this is never going to get made at this rate, and so you're just
Yeah.
like, all right, and so he
Yeah.
just started churning it out. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. So I kind of wanted to push this into the conversation. I know how this would work in, but I just decided I'm gonna tell you. So I thought the reason why I wanted to interview you is because I had met you originally.
yeah,
So yeah, so I think it was at this place called the Palace Theater in Stamford, and it was like you were doing like a publicity tour, and you were like, you were at a table and signing pictures, and I was one of those kids, those little kids at the table
that
who were
is
just like, you were just sitting there, and one of those kids, you like passing by, okay, da 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 da, passing
that
by,
is
da da da.
great.
Yeah,
That is
that
great. No,
yeah,
no, some of my yeah, that was probably during the publicity tour for the first one.
yeah, it was
I'd
during.
assume. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And like oh god, some of my favorite memories are on that tour. I had so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Kinney is Jeff Kinney is hands down one of the best people I've met in my life. He's just such a
Really?
cool guy. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, in virtually every way, and he's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, we had so much fun on that tour.
Yeah.
It's not even funny. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like oh, we used to tease each other all the time. Like there was this one time we were oh, I don't remember what state it was, but we went horseback riding. And he told me this story about like the rumor that like glue is made out of horses. Have you ever heard that?
What? No. Tell
You've
me
never
this.
heard that?
I've
Okay.
never heard this in my entire.
All
What
right,
is
so like
this?
I don't think it's factual, but apparently like some people used to claim that glue is made from horses. And so while we were horseback riding, Jeff Kinney naturally just pulls me aside and says like, they make a ton of glue off these bad Larrys. And I was like, really?
What?
He was like, yeah. And then so we finished horseback riding. We had to give all the horses peppermints.
Yeah.
And so Jeff comes up. He's like, "That's how they lure the horses into the glue factory, you know." And I was like, "What?" He was
What?
like, He was like, they give each horse a giant peppermint. He told me they give each horse a giant peppermint and they roll it into the factory, and and the horse follows the peppermint, and then they just flip the switch and there it goes. And I actually believed it. And I went around for a while thinking that like that's how glue was made
How
because
did you find?
I was the most gullible child. It was ridiculous.
How did you find out it wasn't true? I imagine that must have been kind of awkward,
I
depending on what
I'm
happened.
pretty sure I was just at home and I needed glue and I was like talking to my mom and I was just like, "Oh yeah, like I think it's kind of weird that this stuff is made out of horses." And she was just like, "What?"
I was like, ah, Jeff.
Yeah. No, he was oh my god. I love that guy.
Yeah,
He's funny. Like we for the
I'd
sixth
imagine.
Wimpy Kid book, Cabin
Yeah,
Fever, we went on a publicity tour, and I actually got to go to Europe, and I got to go to like London and Paris and Dublin and a bunch of like cool cities in Europe.
yeah,
But so anyway, so like while we were there, like he's just crazy. He like you would think while you're in a place like that, you would try to enjoy like some of the local food and stuff. He would just go to McDonald's and just get chicken nuggets. And like in retrospect, I mean, if you're traveling like that, I feel like you'd want to. Like I
Yeah.
wanted to have the local food. He was just like, "Oh, I don't want to eat that. Like I'd rather just."
Looks disgusting.
Yeah, no, it was.
Oh my god.
I
I
mean,
mean,
we went.
yeah.
Yeah, he's just crazy.
Yeah.
He tricked me. He tricked me into having haggis. Do you know what haggis is?
Haggis. I've heard of it. I've never
Yes.
seen
Well,
what's
so
haggis.
we were in like Scotland and we were at a restaurant. He was like, "Oh, I will give you $10 if you try this." And I'm like, "Okay, it's food. I'll try it." I take a bite and I'm like, "What is it?" And he says, "Haggis." And I was like, "Well, what's haggis made out of?" He was like, "Sheep guts." And I was like, "Oh,
Oh,
okay."
after you did you said after you ate it?
He said it after I ate it.
Oh my god.
And then he dared me to have frog legs, and I almost did it. I was like
Yeah.
5 seconds away, and then he was like, "No, I don't want to even see that. I'm not going to make you actually do that."
Yeah.
Because he thought I was going to be like all grossed out, but I was
I
like,
mean,
"Oh no, I'll do it."
and imagine somebody who writes a book that's I'd imagine somebody who writes like books, humorous books. They're supposed to be funny to middle schoolers. Are like, I imagine the guy is pretty funny. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, yeah. Actually, one of the, I think it was the 10th book. One of the stories in the 10th book is actually based on something that happened with me and my dad.
Hmm.
Like
What happened?
there was all right, so we were filming the third movie and we always stay in the same hotel. It's called the Sutton Place Hotel. And
Hmm.
there was this one night I woke up, well, I didn't wake up. There's this one night where I was getting ready to go to bed and I brushed my teeth and I just got ready to go to bed. And then my dad comes in. He's like, "You didn't put the toothpaste cap back on." I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Like, it won't happen again. My bad." And my dad's like, "Oh, you realize that's actually like kind of a pretty big deal. Like, we could have all got sick or something." And I was like,
Hmm.
"Dad, it's a toothpaste cap." He's like, "No, no, I'm serious. Like, you can't just ignore like the little things in life." And then he went on this story about how back during the Oregon Trail, when pioneers would cross, they'd go in their big wagons, and there'd always be
Hmm.
the little pin in the wagon wheel that held the wheel together. So my dad said, "Well, that little pin was pretty important, right?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yeah." And he's like, "Well, what happened if that pin falls out?" And I said, "I don't know
Hmm.
what." And he's like, "Well, the wheel falls off, and then the entire wagon collapses, and then the family gets eaten by wolves." So the moral of the story is you shouldn't forget the little things. I
Yeah.
said, "But Dad, there's a big dip," and I just looked at my dad and I said, "That is the most flawed logic I've ever heard. That makes no sense. There's a big difference between a wagon wheel pin that is your entire livelihood
Yeah.
and a toothpaste cap that nobody really cares about. Like they might be the same size, sure,
Yeah.
but one has like infinitely more significance than the
Yeah.
other."
And I
And
don't
so
think, yeah.
Jeff,
Okay, yeah.
yeah, Jeff actually took that story and put it in the 10th book.
Oh,
Just
so
because
that's where he got it?
that's
That's
where he
where he,
got it. Yeah,
oh,
like
wow.
I told him that story, and Jeff just said that makes no sense. That's just a very illogical parenting story. And I said, "Yeah, no, exactly." And he said, "Well, can I use it?" And I was like, "Of course."
And he did.
And he did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really. Did he dedicate that book to that? Did he dedicate that book also to you, or no? That was.
No, I mean, he dedicated one book to me. I
Yeah,
think that's enough.
yeah,
That made me pretty happy.
yeah. Which one was it? Which one was it?
It was the movie diary.
The movie
He dedicated
diary.
it to yeah. He dedicated it to Zach and I.
Yeah, that's really cool. I used I what happened was what happened was I had all of them. I had about 5 of the Diary of a Wimpy Kid books, including the movie diary. But what happened was my
Okay.
bookshelf was getting too packed, and I had I
Yeah.
feel bad. I'm gonna feel bad to this. I had to donate all of them to the library.
No, that is fine. I see. I still keep up with them because I feel like I should. You
Yeah,
know they're coming out with another movie,
yeah.
right?
That's what I was gonna ask you. I was like, what do you think of your counterpart? Your
Yeah.
new counterpart,
Well, his name is Owen,
Owen.
and
Hmm.
I've actually been able to talk to him a couple times, and I at first I was very unsure how I'd feel about it,
Yeah,
just because I
it's
thought
like
it was
it's
weird. Because they
mine.
even brought the well, it wasn't even that. It was like, oh, they even brought the same director as the second and third one, like for the
Yeah.
fourth. I was just like, that's weird. They're bringing over like a lot of the same people, blah blah blah. But no, I got to talk to Owen multiple times, and I love him. He's great.
Yeah.
He like, and I'm not even just saying that
Yeah.
because I'm like bound to. Like, I actually mean
Yeah.
it. Like, he's a really nice kid. He reminds me a lot of me at that age, like
Yeah.
alarmingly so.
Hmm.
and we had I he has similar tastes as me at that age. You
Mm-hmm.
know, like he liked a lot of the same stuff I did. It was almost kind of weird actually,
Just
and
kind of.
he absolutely adored me,
Yeah.
which was pretty great.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it made me feel very
Well,
honored, I
now.
guess.
No.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So, how'd you guys? Did he talk to you to sort of get research on how it's like to play the role?
Yeah, 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 it was I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. On my end, it was like mostly curiosity. Like I wanted to just talk to the kid and see what he was like.
Yeah.
But like on his end, it was very much he absolutely worships the earlier movies. Like he loves them, and he was absolutely thrilled to be like
Yeah.
uh the successor, I guess you could say. That
Yeah.
feels weird to say, but
Successor.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
You're
no,
grown up
but
now. You can't. I don't know how
yeah,
you'd play it.
yeah,
Could like
no,
sort of bend
exactly.
down and be like, "Hey guys, it's me, Rowley again." Like,
Yeah, yeah, no, and I'd probably have to gain like 50 pounds,
yeah.
but yeah,
Uh-huh.
um, no, but see, it actually wasn't the first time I got to talk to somebody else
Mm-hmm.
playing Rowley because they actually made a Wimpy Kid musical in
Really?
Minnesota. Yeah, which
Wow.
was pretty weird. Yeah, like it was weird at first because I was like, oh, like no, like I'm not gonna lie, I went in thinking like
Yeah.
this could be pretty rough. Like I'm not really sure what to expect from this. But it was actually really good, and I really enjoyed the cast. It was just interesting to see
Mm-hmm.
other people play it, and maybe above all, the musical and the new movie just makes me feel really old.
Yeah. I mean,
Even though I'm
yeah.
18 and a half, and I don't really have a right to say that.
Yeah. They make you feel old.
Yeah, they make me
Okay.
feel really
Yeah.
old.
I mean, you must have done a great job with the role because you won 3 Young Artist Awards
Oh
for
yeah,
it. How is that?
I forgot about that. Um, it was really it was interesting. I
Interesting.
Yeah, I went to the first ceremony the first time I was nominated,
Yeah.
and I won like best ensemble, I think, for that,
Yeah.
like with the other guys, and then I ended
Hmm.
up winning like two more for like best supporting actor, something
Yeah.
like that. But anyways, like it was just really interesting because when I finally got my award,
Hmm.
I got home and I realized it said "Diary of a Wimpy Kid," not "Diary of a
Oh my
Wimpy Kid."
god.
Yeah, so I
Oh,
don't know,
what
like.
happened? Is that on your shelf now? There's Diary of a
it
Wimpy Kid.
it is on my shelf in my basement.
Yeah.
But when everybody's always like, "Oh, that's so cool that like you won an award, like do you feel like
Hmm.
prestigious and stuff?" I was like, "Well, I mean, it says Dairy of a Wimpy Kid, so
So
it
is
should probably like it
it's
should
kind
probably
of hard to
tell
feel
you it's worth."
prestigious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's probably hard to feel prestigious when you see have an award that is just has a typo on it.
no,
Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Mhm. So how did you get diary the Wimpy Kid role in the first place?
Well, I was actually at the premiere of Bride Wars when I first heard about the audition from my
Yeah.
agent. She was just like, "Oh, I got an audition for you for this movie called Diary of a Wimpy Kid." And I had read at the time only the first two books
Yeah.
had been released,
Okay.
so I was pretty excited about it. I was like, "Oh, that's awesome! Like, I read those books.
Mhm.
This will be really interesting. Like, I'd love to be in those." And so I got the audition. I remember I walked into like the casting house where they were doing the auditions, and there were like 50 other kids in there. And I just remembered thinking to myself, I'm never going to get this role. Like it's just not going to happen. Look
Yeah.
at look at all these
Yeah.
people. And there was the kid who like played like the little brother in Speed Racer there, and I remember thinking like, oh my god, he was
He's
in Speed Racer. I'm never going to get this. And so I auditioned,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
everybody in there kind of looked at each other, and they said, "Hey, do you want to like stick around for a little bit, and maybe read with like some potential Gregs?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, sure." So I ended up staying a
Mhm.
little bit longer, and then I
Mhm.
ended up having to do 3 screen tests in California. Do you know what a screen test is?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like you and somebody who plays Greg goes on screen and then they sort of read the lines and they
Yeah,
test to see
it's
how you guys are how the chemistry is between.
yes,
Okay.
it's essentially a glorified audition. It's like
Uh-huh.
yeah, it's like the second step.
Mhm.
And so I had to go to 3 of those. But the thing
Yeah.
I noticed, even when I went out for the first one, it was like this for the other ones too,
Mm-hmm.
was that, oh, this is kind of weird. I'm the only Rowley. There's like a bunch of different Gregs, but I'm the only Rowley here. And so
Mm-hmm.
that at first I assumed that there were like other shifts of screen tests, like there was one Rowley for the 4 Gregs.
Yeah.
And then come to find out that I came to find out that they actually cast me on the spot. They didn't tell me until the middle of the second Wimpy Kid movie while we were filming. One of the
Yeah.
producers just told me, "Oh, yeah, we knew right after your first audition that we wanted you to be Rowley." And the
Yeah.
reason why they had me go out for all the screen tests was
Mm-hmm.
because
Standard or what was
you
it?
can't make a Wimpy Kid movie without Greg, and they hadn't found a Greg yet.
Oh.
It's like they found me pretty early on, but it took them another like 4 months.
Hmm. How is so Zachary
I'm sorry,
Gordon,
what did you say? I'm getting like,
you're getting bad signal? Are you
yeah,
getting
I'm getting like, yeah, I couldn't really hear. Now you're good.
okay.
I can hear you now.
Yeah, there's been this basically there's been this problem with my Wi-Fi, and we need to
Hmm.
get a new router, and my dad hasn't. So when your dad's supposed to do
Oh,
something
you're
and he
fine.
doesn't. Yeah. So for
Yeah,
the
no, you're
listeners,
fine.
that's the reason why. That's the reason why it might be coming out kind of gloopy. Uh,
No, you're fine. You're
yeah.
fine.
So what was I even gonna say? Oh yeah. So Zachary Gordon plays Greg. So did he? So you were found first, and then he was found.
Yeah, like they found Zach during my third screen test. The first screen test I went to, there were 2 Gregs and me,
Yeah.
and the second one, it was just 1 Greg and me.
Mm-hmm.
And we all thought he was going to get the part, but then at the last second he didn't. And then the third one, there were 4 Gregs,
Oh,
and Zach was one of them, and they ended up going with Zach.
you said that. You said that as if it wasn't like the best decision.
No, no,
Uh,
I didn't.
you're
No,
like,
I
and they
didn't.
decided to
I
go
didn't
with
mean it like that.
Zach.
No, 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 no. I didn't mean it like that. It was
No, I'm
it
just
was
kidding.
more of me being it was more of me being lost in thought because I'm trying to remember like the other
Yeah,
3 kids. That
yeah.
was a while ago. No, but yeah, no, it was like yeah, it was like Zach and 3 other kids, and I had to read with like all of them at various. I really should have known at that point that I was
Yeah.
Rowley,
You didn't know
but
yet, though?
I wasn't even sure the movie was going to be made because I couldn't find a
Really?
Greg. Yeah,
So
but
how? Yeah, go on. Go.
no, all I was going to say was so yeah.
Yeah.
Out of those 4, they picked Zach, and then the rest is what happened.
Zach's a cool kid, I'm guessing.
What?
Zach's a cool kid, I'm guessing.
Oh yeah, no, I
He's nice, yeah.
Zach is a very cool kid. It's tough because he lives in California and I live in
Mhm.
Rhode Island. So
Yeah, you live
I mean,
literally opposites.
yeah, I
Yeah.
last time I saw him was we both went to go see the Wimpy Kid musical because Jeff invited us, kind of like as a get together kind of thing.
What was that?
It was well they did the musical in Minnesota and it was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was saying a little bit earlier, like I really enjoyed it because I hadn't seen the movies in a while. And it was kind of like a refresher of the first movie
Mm-hmm.
with like slight variances, and yeah, it was really really enjoyable. I
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it made me realize that there's still plenty of people that are reading these books and probably watching those movies and will probably
Mm-hmm.
go see the fourth one. So it's kind of cool to see it like live on and see where it goes.
Yeah. So, what was I gonna say? So do you guys still communicate?
Oh yeah, no, we've all right. So something that's happened fairly recently that is kind of embarrassing,
Mm-hmm.
but I personally get a bit of a kick out of it is that Wimpy Kid and really specifically Rowley has kind of become like an internet meme, and it's just really weird.
Mm-hmm. Do
Like
you,
I see lots of photos online, like photoshopped of like me and like Zooey Mama is used a lot, and it's just really
Hmm.
like on one hand it's really weird, but on the other hand it's pretty cool. And so
Hmm.
Zach and I have literally just spent the past month randomly sending each other like Wimpy Kid
Memes
memes that we find on the internet
of yourselves.
of ourselves, which
Yeah.
sounds really conceited. I'm aware
Hmm.
of that, but no, it's more us just having like just being idiots.
Yeah. But you guys like, but you guys like it, but you guys talk though, right? You guys are, it's
Oh
not
yeah,
just, you don't communicate through memes. You just,
no, no, no.
you
We
use
like talk.
words.
Yeah, no, we use words. Like I haven't. I talked to Grayson who played Fregley. I talked to him a lot too. Like we
Hmm.
play. We used to play. There's this game called Red Dead Redemption, and I used
Yeah.
to play that with Grayson all the time.
Hmm.
And I just found out, like, if you were to go on my Instagram, I found out like a couple months ago that they're coming out with a second one, and so
Hmm.
I posted about it and I tagged Grayson in it, and Zach, I think, because he used to play a little bit too. And I just said like, oh, this takes me back, you know.
Hmm. What's your, I was just about looking at, what's your Instagram? What's your
Hold on,
Instagram?
what's my Instagram? I think it's just Robert underscore Capron. I could
Robert.
even check right now.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's it.
My Wi-Fi is still, as we said before, gloopy, so it's not loading up right now. I'll look it up later. Yeah.
No,
So,
it's
so you had read the first two books before doing the role. Oh wait, no. Where does so does Grayson live? Does he live also in California? Does he live near you?
Grayson actually lives in Alabama.
Alabama.
Yeah, I got to
Hmm.
visit him while I was filming the Three Stooges.
Hmm.
Because we filmed the Three Stooges in Georgia, Atlanta specifically. And so there was this one weekend I just said, "Hey, let's go visit Grayson for a little bit."
Hmm.
And we just yeah, I ended up sleeping over. It was cool.
Yeah, that sounds
He's a
amazing.
yeah, no, he was a really cool kid and I got to do a bunch of different stuff with him.
Hmm.
It was really really fun.
Hmm. So I'm gonna let's talk about school. So during the filming, how would you do school?
Oh yeah, so like that's also a question I get a lot. Like how did you manage to do
Yeah.
school like while you were filming if you did school at all? And
I've
like
asked a few other interviewees, and they said they
yeah.
do online school. So I like to ask all like people who are in teenagers. So how is it if it's different for them?
Yeah, no, like actually online school is probably something I should have done, but I didn't. I stayed in public school throughout middle and high school.
Wow.
I um I just had them they just FedExed work out to me. They were really good about it. Like
Hmm.
really good. Like I realize now that a lot of schools could have just been like, no, you should just we're not gonna do that. So you have no choice but to like switch schools or something like that.
Hmm.
But no, they were very, very good about that. They would send
Hmm.
out work. I do it. I mean, they'd send out what they could. Like whenever I got
Yeah.
back, I'd always have like a decent pile of stuff
Yeah.
to have to do.
Hmm.
But no, the teachers were always great about it, and yeah, no, they were
Hmm.
awesome.
Yeah. I mean, because you must have been good at managing your time because you ended up going to Brown.
Yeah,
How'd
yeah.
you
I
keep
mean,
up with your
I did
grades to
well.
do that? Like, how'd you,
I just
I'm not saying you're not smart. I'm just
no,
saying
no, no,
like
no,
how'd
no.
you, it's a lot of time, filming and then keeping up with your
Well,
grades.
they have it's technically like it's a law, like a union law, or I think yeah, just a law. Period. That kids have to get at least 3 hours of school every day while on set.
Yeah.
And so basically, the way they would do that is anytime they had to move the camera around,
Yeah.
they would run us to like this room and just have the on-set tutor like teach
Yeah.
us. Or, but most of the time it was us just doing our own work.
Mhm.
Like the tutor was kind of just there as like a supervisor if you had a question.
Okay.
But
How is it? Did you have to change mindsets very quickly? Like, okay, I'm in acting mindset and now I'm
yeah, no,
filming
you often kind of had to.
school. Yeah.
Like I'll put it to you this way: it was a much different experience doing like sixth grade math problems than when you're doing a
Yeah.
movie in September in 12th grade and you're missing calculus because of that, and you
Yeah.
have to try to figure it out on your own.
Mhm.
Like it's a very, very, very different entity.
Yeah. But you were able to keep up with your grades and it paid off.
Yeah, I was able to make it work. I
Yeah.
made it work. It
Hmm.
was yeah, I just like I was saying, whenever I'd come back, there'd always be like a pile, and I'd have to spend like a day or two just nonstop working to get it done.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it was good.
Yeah. So did you your favorite subject? Did you say it was history?
Probably history, and I mean, I really like English just because I love to read. I haven't read like I need to read more. That's something I wanted to do over break, and I just didn't get around to it because I
Hmm.
was just spending time with friends and whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's something I wish I'd done more, like just lately reading. And I
Yeah.
still love reading. But yeah, history is probably my favorite.
But you were good in all your subjects.
Yeah, no, I was solid. I mean, I didn't really like math,
Yeah.
but I was solid at it.
Yeah. I don't expect I don't see a lot of artists. Well, actually no, that's not true. But I see there's most artists really don't like the STEM subjects a lot.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I mean, it kind of makes sense because you've got people that are doing a lot of reading and writing
Hmm.
in movies, and not much math, I would say.
Yeah, because I mean, the reason why I'm asking about your grades is because I'm trying to get into Emerson in it, and so I'm seeing
Oh yeah,
because they have a basically I want to be a stand-up comedian, so I'm trying.
okay,
Yeah, so and they just came out with this comedy major, like a BFA in comedic arts.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Only thing is, if you're not good at being a comedian, then you don't really have anything else to turn your back on because it's like you're literal have a degree in comedy. You can't go into like a I don't know. You can't go into like a finance office and be like, "Oh, can I get a job?" Like,
Yeah,
I guess
huh?
that's it's sort of a double edged
Yeah,
sword.
no, that's
But it's hard to get into these colleges. So I'm just trying to sort of dissect how did you get into Brown, so I can sort of take that a little bit of that and say, okay, so I had to do this to get into Emerson because I know
right.
it's an Ivy League.
Um,
So
I mean, I'd be lying if I said that the whole film thing didn't help. Like that definitely set me apart in terms of like extracurriculars.
okay.
But at the same time, I mean there's the standard stuff that everybody should do in
Hmm.
high school, like the whole like I was in like National Honor Society. I was in and I tried to do extracurriculars like in school specifically. Like I was in band and I wasn't really good
Band.
at it, but like
You weren't
yeah.
good at it.
And I also played tennis,
You also
which
played
I
tennis.
wasn't really
Okay.
good at either. I was like
What did
I
you
don't
play a
know.
band?
I played
Seems
percussion, so I
funny.
did
Oh, you
like
played.
all different.
Hmm.
I played like all different like drums and xylophone and
Yeah.
marimba, which is just like a really cool xylophone, basically.
Band's really cool. That's a but you weren't good at it.
Well, I don't know. Like I was solid. Like I couldn't do anything on snare drum that was over like
Hmm.
a semi quick pace.
Okay, but let's say you had a role that required to drum. I do you think you'd be able to sort of pick it up faster than other
Yeah, I mean,
people?
actually, the movie I did, The Polka King,
Hmm.
with Jack Black this past summer, I had to learn how to play the trumpet, but I didn't have to like
I
learn
play the
how to.
trumpet. That's really
Yeah,
funny. I'm a jazz. I've been playing trumpet for 8 years.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So, all
How
right,
was
then
it?
you're going to find this really funny.
Yeah.
But I spent the entirety of my high school band career
Yeah.
thinking the trumpet was so much easier than it actually
It's
was.
not.
I legit, you can judge me as much
Yeah.
as you want. I'm ashamed to say this. I told this. I went to my
Yeah.
school's holiday concert right before Christmas
Yeah.
because I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Because it was always, and it was mostly I don't have to play, so I'm gonna go and actually watch one of these things just to gloat kind of things.
Yeah.
But it was also like Christmassy, so I was like, oh, I'll go. Why not?
Hmm.
But so I ended up telling this to my band instructor, and you're gonna get mad at me for this.
Yeah.
I legit always thought with the trumpet, you just blew into it. I didn't realize there was so much that went into like the lips and stuff.
Yeah. There's.
So
Oh my god.
I had to take lessons to.
Hmm.
I didn't have to actually learn how to play, but I had to learn how to look like I knew how to play.
You had to learn
It,
how to like hold it and stuff.
yeah, and so I went, and so the guy who was teaching me was like, okay, so like
Yeah.
I'm curious, just try playing it. I want to see
Hmm.
what happens.
Yeah.
So he was essentially pulling a prank on me because he knew I was going to make an idiot out of myself.
Yeah.
So he's just like, "Oh, okay, this is easy." So I just put it up to my lips and I blow, and like nothing happened. I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
he was like, "Oh, well, I mean, you have to do stuff with your lips." I was like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah." And then I suddenly had flashbacks to virtually every time in high school band a
Yeah.
trumpet player had messed up, and I've been silently fuming. Because you have to understand, there were like 20 minutes at the end of class that the teacher would
Yeah.
just devote to trumpets because sometimes they had
Hmm.
a tough time playing
Yeah.
pieces.
During
Because
yeah.
it was a bad combo because trumpets usually had the toughest parts in the pieces that we chose,
Oh yeah, they
and
have.
the trumpets that we had in school were like decent. Like there were a couple like really good ones, but a lot of them left senior year, and then it was all bad.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. No, but trumpet playing the trumpet is I'm not mad at you cuz a lot of people think that. Um but playing the trumpet there is a lot that goes into it. I'm right now I'm just trying to figure out how to play an F sharp. Which is it's a well, I don't know, it's a very high note on the trumpet basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm still trying to figure out how to play it cuz cuz it's all about there's a lot of technical things. It's about your breathing. It's about your embouchure, which is the way the trumpet goes onto your lips. There is I mean a lot that goes into it. I mean, I felt like drumming music was a lot harder.
mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, xylophone's easy with notes, and then you just press it down.
It's
Like
like
you've got the mallet. It's literally got the note written on the
yeah.
thing most of the time. You just hit it. Like
Mhm.
that was pretty easy. Marimba was slightly harder just because it was bigger and like if you had to move around a lot. Like the thing with I don't know. There's advantages and disadvantages. Like
Mhm.
with marimba, you almost have to memorize the piece because for me, like I have to be looking. I want to be looking down just to make sure I'm about to hit the right note.
Yeah.
But like with other instruments, you can look at the actual music and just kind of play because like the fingerings and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like there's advantages and disadvantages. Am
Mhm.
I saying that playing the marimba is harder than the trumpet? No, I think trumpet's
Well,
definitely overall
yeah,
harder.
did you learn how to actually play the trumpet, or did you
God
even play
no.
any notes? Did you learn how to play any
God no.
notes?
I went from like nothing to that's pretty much
Yeah.
how it sounded.
Yeah, you just had to know like which fingerings to press. I'm guessing like
Yeah. And even then, I was faking half the time. Like, I guarantee
yeah,
when the movie comes out, there's going to be the one guy sitting in the audience who's like, "Oh, that was supposed to be a B flat, but you just played an F sharp. Like, what
yeah,
the heck?"
yeah.
You know?
It gets very technical. I mean, I've been playing for 8 years, so really the only hard thing for me now is the high notes, and the rhythms. But
Yeah.
how long of band did you do? How long did you do that for?
I did band from sixth grade through 12th grade.
Oh, so you did
So yeah,
okay.
middle and high school.
Okay. Yeah, because I what was I gonna say? Did you actually no? Were you during high school? Were you genuinely interested in doing band, or were you like playing the saxophone? Like, okay, so I just when I get home, I'm just gonna put this on my resume, and I'm gonna be done with it. Was it
I
sort
mean,
of
I didn't do it. I didn't really do it for resume purposes, so to speak.
yeah,
It was more of like something to fill my schedule that was. I mean,
well
it was.
rounded?
Yes, it was
Okay,
different than my other classes.
okay,
If that.
because yeah, because I mean I know colleges. I think this. I'm not an expert, but I think colleges look for sort of well rounded students. So you'd really
Yeah. No, I
okay.
mean, I guess technically speaking, band helped out in that regard
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Originally thought I for a second I thought I had this funny idea that you had like sort of paid off Brown to get in. I don't know that thought genuinely came into my mind for like a minute, and then I was like, oh, that's ridiculous. How could he? That I don't know
That would
Yeah,
be. Yeah. No, it's like.
it was kind of like
It's
one of those
tough.
stupid
That's
things.
something. I mean,
Yeah.
speaking completely candidly,
Yeah.
I like it. Doing the film stuff has really made me question. Like the whole reason I don't bring it up right off the bat is because
Yeah.
I want it to be off my own merits, but something that people have told me, and it's something that I ultimately kind of need to accept, is that it is part of who I am, and I should, and like, I'm not saying I'm not proud of it, but like, I should be proud of it. Like, I should use that to my advantage. That's something that makes me unique. It's something I worked for. It's something I did, But like, yeah, but I
You're
will put
afraid
it
of
to you.
doing
I
too
will put it
much.
to you this way: there is no way I could have paid off Brown.
Yeah.
Like, and
You're like,
I'm not even. I'm
want
not
me?
even.
Come on.
I'm
No,
not saying. I'm not
it was a
saying that in
joke.
terms
Yeah.
of. No, I know, but
Yeah.
like, I'm not saying that. No, I'm making a joke too. Like, I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah,
saying that
yeah.
in
No.
terms of. I'm speaking monetarily. Like, I
Yeah, yeah.
couldn't have. There's just no way.
Yeah.
It's obnoxious how much those schools cost sometimes.
Yeah.
Like,
Like
it's crazy.
USC, another school I want to do is $60,000 a year. It's quite.
Oh.
How much is Brown?
I mean, it's like around that.
Around that. Luckily,
Uh,
luckily, there's another school on my list. It's a University of North Carolina School of the Arts, which is
okay.
only like 30,000 a year. So
Okay.
I can't believe
Yeah.
that's. Sometimes I can't believe that's where society has like 30,000 for college. Oh, that's not that bad. It's because sometimes it seems like quite ridiculous. It's like that's still like a lot of money. Like how is that
No, it
not?
is.
Yeah,
It is.
it
No,
is.
like
Mm-hmm.
I was very hesitant about college at first, just because, especially because of like my career and stuff, and how it's like
Yeah,
semi unique. Like there was a while where I was kind of thinking to myself, like, do I even need to? But I'm very glad
yeah,
I did.
yeah. I saw
Like,
this.
for
Yeah.
multiple reasons.
Mm-hmm. I saw this thing with Paul Thomas Anderson, and I think it was Paul Thomas Anderson or J.J. Abrams. I think they was talking about their like biography on Wikipedia. That's how I know about all these people. Is through they would say they would I think their father said you have to learn how to make movies before you make movies, which was
Mm,
I think that's a really powerful quote, and I mean it's true because
yeah.
you want to go to school to because I think there's a lot of good that comes out of it, right? Because I feel like if you go to college, there's a lot more things thrown at you. There's more information I think you absorb, and you can there's more creativity that can sort of shape your acting. Like you could say, oh, okay, oh, this happened in college. I could really put this into like a role, or something like that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. No, like, I mean, that's what I'm going to college for. Like, I'm at Brown's, they call it their modern culture and media department, but I'm hoping to get into introduction to filmic practice, which is literally
Yeah,
like the movie making class.
yeah. All right, what are you studying? What are you majoring in?
I'm actually probably going to double major. I'm planning on constant, like at Brown, they don't call it a major, they call it concentration, which is just one of those things that like they do. They call it something different, but it's the same thing.
Yeah.
And like, and so no matter what, I want to concentrate in the modern culture media, which is their film department, like the second track, which is like more production oriented. And then I
Yeah.
said, okay, well, I'm going to try to take a history class a semester because I like that and I think it'd be fun. So then I looked at like the history class they offered and it said you only need 10 classes to concentrate in history. So I said,
Yeah.
okay, well, if I take a history class a semester for 4 years, that's 8 classes. At that point, I might as well just take two more and concentrate in that too.
Yeah.
Like it just makes sense. I mean,
Hmm.
we'll see whether or not I stick to that. But as of now, I'm planning on concentrating in like film and history.
Uh-huh.
And who knows, maybe after that I'll make like the best history
Film.
miniseries of all
You'll
time.
make like Lincoln too.
Or
Or
John Adams too.
John Adams too.
John Quincy
John
Adams.
Quincy Adams too.
There we go.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's
It's a
foolproof.
new
You
movie
you,
by
you
Robert
heard it
Capron.
first. You heard it first.
Do you want to ever direct? Have you ever thought about that?
Yes, I would very much like to, but I need to figure out whether or not I can.
You
you
want to
know?
try it first?
Yeah, like I'm actually co-directing
Hmm.
a movie with some of my friends at Brown this semester. So we'll
Cool.
see how that goes.
Yeah.
We're kind of just well, we started working on it at like the end of the semester, like just like getting people
Hmm.
together. And then as soon as we get back, it's going to be very like gung ho. So we'll
Yeah.
see how that goes.
So I saw because actually what happened was my my friend what happened was my friend who I showed that was like who was said doing the boy
Yeah.
that friend he's also is like one of my best friends, And he was like, you know what would? So he's doing this short. So he's like, you know what would make you a producer? I was like, what? He's like, if you got Robert Capron to do a cameo in the movie. I was like, I don't know if I could do that, and I don't know, because I mean, it'd be in New Milford or New Hampshire. And I know you're down in Rhode Island, so I was like, I don't think that'd be tangible. He's like, oh, never mind. So then, because he's like, so then he was like, so I was like, oh, does he even do student films? I was like, he's like, yeah, I found on Facebook he does student films. I was like, oh, you're a stalker. So no, so yeah, so you do student films. So how are those, like, favors, or do people pay you for them, or?
No, like I did first semester I was assistant producer on a Brown motion picture student film called Facunda. An assistant
Yeah,
producer basically means that wherever they needed me to go, I went.
yeah,
Like that was pretty much it. Like I did 30,000 different things on that set. And then I mean, like I said, next semester I'm co-directing the movie, but other than that, I haven't really. There's actually like this weird. I'm in the Screen Actors Guild, and there's this weird thing where like I'm technically like because there was this one
hmm,
time I hosted a RI like teen film festival thing, and there was this kid there that I liked a lot. And he said he wanted me to be in a film he was working on. I liked him, and I thought it was pretty good, so I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And I actually found out that like I couldn't, and the reason why I couldn't was because of this weird like union law thing where because of what I don't even know the specifics. But and
is it
so
because you can't partake in non-union films? Is that it, or?
it's like technically it's the type of thing where I mean, here's the thing. This realistically wouldn't happen, but let's say I did a student film and for
Yeah,
some reason it completely took off, got like 3 million views on YouTube. If somebody like kind of high up were to see that, they could say that's not a union project. He's not supposed to be doing that. He betrayed the union. And I'd just be like, okay.
how could I betray the union? I didn't even do anything. Um,
Yeah, no, exactly.
yeah, that doesn't. I mean, if anything, it's. I don't think betray would be the right word. It would be, we gave you
Mm.
a clear outline of rules, Robert, and you broke those rules.
No, exactly.
Yeah. How do you think acting has helped you as, like, a person?
I That's a good question. I've kind of thought about that too. Like I was saying earlier, I'm not really. I've thought about what my life would be like if it wasn't for acting as a kid and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, in a weird way, I think it's made me. I think it's like I don't know. I think it's pretty easy for something like that to go to people's heads. I actually think it's made me a better person.
Hmm,
I think
hmm.
it's made me definitely realize from a pretty early age how lucky I am to have done the things I've done and
Hmm.
how certain things should be valued over others. Like I don't know, but at
Yeah.
the same time, I definitely something I realized pretty early on into high school was that as a result of that, I've matured really quickly.
Yeah. Because you become more. I'm guessing you've become more independent, being on set, and you've become more. You. I guess independent is the word.
Yeah.
Hmm. So, you're actually the first person. So I see what happened was I always like to Google the people who I interview. You're the first person who I interview. People, a lot of things come up. Uh, so I found this thing that you might want to see. Do you ever read things that people say about you on the internet?
I try not to because I feel like I don't know. Like it's it's weird. Like I don't know, it just feels weird. Like I try not to because odds
Yeah,
are like I don't know. Like a
do you
lot
want?
of people just avoid social media entirely. But you could go ahead and read whatever
Yeah,
you want.
Do you want to hear some of the things? These are real questions people have asked. Um, let's see. What? Let's see. Is you're gonna, this is really fun. Where was it? This is actually, you're gonna love this. Is There's one that said, I can't find it now. Um, no, actually, fine. I'll start with this one. Does Robert Capron do drugs? Does Robert Capron smoke cigarettes or weed? This is a real thing I found on the internet.
Well, I don't if you're
You don't?
asking me.
Yes.
I do
Okay.
not.
So you want? Yeah, this is good. So we can settle some of these rumors. I mean, a lot of these things seem ridiculous. Like the that was I think the most ridiculous thing. I was like, I've talked to this guy. This guy doesn't seem like the type of guy who would do that. Where was it? There's actually one I wanted. Oh yeah, is Robert Capron still alive? Are there any death rumors? Guys, you hear it now. He's still alive. Does he? Yeah. So
I'm still alive, thankfully.
yeah.
Thankfully.
The official answer is yes, as far as we know. Robert Capron is still alive. We don't have any current information about I keep saying Capron's
Yeah.
health. However, being younger than 50, we hope that everything is okay. Is everything
Yeah.
okay?
I'm thankfully still in my still relatively young,
Yeah.
and I'm okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So those were the safe things. Do you want to hear about some of the more uncomfortable things that you might not like?
Oh,
Just
sure.
do you want to take a risk?
Sure. I will
this-
embrace the
yeah.
danger.
This might be dangerous. Is Robert Capron hot or not?
Hot or not?
Yeah. There's this is real.
Is there an answer to that?
There is a real. Do you want to hear? You might.
I don't know. I don't know. Do I?
Do you?
I don't know. I mean, you've got the answer right
I've got
there.
the answer. I
So
don't know.
I'm
I'm not-
posing the question to you. Do you? All right. At this point,
Okay.
just do it. It's
Okay,
a subjective question. I'm just
Yeah.
putting that out there for potential audience members. Very subjective.
I'm sorry, but 80.
81% say
80
no.
84% say no. I guess this is why people don't look
Say
at rumors
no?
of them. Say no, yeah. I get no. I think
Oh
this
my
is why.
God.
I think this is. They don't see you
How
now.
how old is this? How old
I don't
is
know.
this?
This is.
You don't. Okay.
This isn't recent. I'm telling you this. This isn't recent.
Okay. Because I mean, because I'm like
You-
being completely
Yeah.
completely bluntly. If this was back like
This is probably back.
2011,
This is probably 2011.
this was like 2011, 2012. Good God, no! Run away! Like stab me with a pitchfork or something. Like I
Yeah.
respect that. Like you, 84% of people are honest people. I respect that.
Yeah.
If it was like now, like I don't know about 84%. I was thinking more like 50. Like I don't know. I'm not bad.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm
I mean,
respectable.
it's good to say that about yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. That's kind of
Yeah. I thought no, because when I was preparing, I saw that, and I was like, I thought this is going to be hilarious. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like to sort of push my interviews because I feel like if they push them, they might push back, which I like sort of a challenge.
Mhm.
I like sort of putting them on edge because I think it's funny how people react. Like I found there's one Robert Capron zodiac sign. You know
Yeah.
is
Like did it say it?
it says Robert Capron zodiac sign is Cancer.
Yeah, no, that's right.
What is that? What do you mean is that? What does that mean? I've never really
What?
gotten that. Where is zodiac sign?
What does it mean? I'm
Yeah.
not even really sure. I just know I'm
You're
a
just-
Cancer, like in the
You're a
zodiac. sign.
Cancer. That doesn't seem very lucky.
Yeah. It's the most awkward of the zodiac signs for sure. It's always weird to say.
hmm Yeah,
Like,
there's.
I don't know. I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah. There was a. I don't know. You can look at this. There's a lot. There's some stuff I'm not going to say, for obvious reasons. I know if you want to, because there's one. I don't know. I'm just gonna say this is not. I would never ask this question. This just happened. I found is Robert Capron gay or straight?
I am straight.
That is straight.
I am straight. Yes. Yeah.
You're gonna
I'm
kick out.
straight.
You might get a. I don't know how you're gonna react to this. 74% of people thought. 74 people thought you were gay. Maybe in 2011.
No. Like there's actually in the first Wimpy Kid movie,
Uh-huh.
there's a scene where Greg, it's at the mother-son dance,
Yeah.
Greg goes up to Rowley and asks if he wants to get ice cream after. And then
Yeah.
Rowley's new friend Colin goes over. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. We already have plans." And Greg is just like, "Oh, okay." And then he walks away. Then Colin turns around. He licks the ice cream cone really suggestively. Like, you should go back and watch it.
I
But
meant
like,
to.
even then, my dad was like, "I feel like that's a visual metaphor."
Okay. So I think this was
Okay.
definitely not recent. I think people haven't really seen you. I don't think it doesn't seem like you get out much into the public. If people this is what people think of you because these things are ridiculous. It's like he doesn't look like he smokes weed. He doesn't look dead. Which I know now.
Yeah, thankfully.
Yeah,
Thankfully.
Yeah, so that's my little funny bit. So yeah, but yeah, you're the first person I've interviewed who, like, if I Google, a lot of things come up, like, Wikipedia,
Oh,
bio,
my Wikipedia needs to be fixed. It's just
Wikipedia. Have you seen it recently?
yeah, somebody jokingly edited it on me the other day. I think they fixed it.
They
But
fixed
like I
it.
looked and it was like, yeah, it was like weird.
Yeah, I'm gonna see this. Let's see if
I
it's
wish I
still
could
there.
change the picture.
Yeah, let's see, Robert. Yeah, because I saw the picture. It was like, let me just make sure. It's not too recent.
Yeah.
Yeah, have that
No, it's
that's
pretty old. It's like from when I was
it's on the
12, I think.
premiere. It's from the premiere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, but what did he show? What did he put on your page?
Um well, it was actually about my girlfriend. Somebody said that, like, oh, he is currently dating this person, like, in my
Oh,
bio. So it was kind of cringy, but
yeah.
yeah.
But he did that. But I mean, people do that on Wikipedia. People be like, people will be like, let's like Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp is
Yeah.
currently
Yeah.
engaged to,
No, no, like, I know,
You
but
you
like,
you just don't want that. You don't want that scene. You want more private, I'm guessing.
well, it's not even that. It was just that there were like 30 typos in the
Oh.
sentence. So,
I
yeah.
was like, if you're gonna say it, make sure you say it
If
grammatically
you're yeah, if
correct.
you're gonna say it, make it look professional.
Okay.
Exactly.
No, it's like I thought it'd be funny if it was like it'd be like a funny skit if you like went to your friend and it's like, "Hey Johnny, why'd you do this?" He's like, "I meant it as a joke, Robert. Stop." It was like, "There's 30 typos in this sentence. Why would you do that?" Because he thinks like the problem is.
That yeah, no,
Yeah.
that was most of the problem I had with it. And my
Yeah.
girlfriend was just like, "Take it down, take it down, take
Take
it
it down.
down." I was like, "It's
Yeah.
not my fault."
Yeah. So, I guess does it? Do you do you use that to impress girls that you you were I'm an actor.
I do not do that.
No,
I do not do the yeah,
you
no.
don't do one
I
of those
no.
things. No,
Um no.
based on everything I've heard about you for this like whatever however time this has been, I'd imagine that's not you.
No, I mean, it inevitably comes up.
Yeah.
Like it's not like the type of thing, like, let's say it's not the type of thing where, like, I'll be married to somebody for like 10 years and I'll just be like, "Oh, I have a very dark secret. I was Rowley." Like, no. No,
No.
that's not. Insta divorce, walks out then and there.
I
That'd
just
be
now I can't
brutal.
see this movie anymore.
Yeah. No.
What if it turns out you didn't tell somebody for 10 years and that ends up being that was their favorite movie of all time, and they didn't know that was you?
Oh no,
Yeah.
my current girlfriend, I've
Yeah.
been joking with her that because I met her at Brown in
Yeah.
like September, and we didn't really start going out until the end of the semester. Like, it just kind of happened. But anyways, it's like the entire semester I would like joke with her
Yeah.
about how she had posters of me in her room, because like I until the end of the semester, like, I'd never been in her room, so the entire time I was just saying, "You definitely have like Wimpy Kid posters in your room, and that's the
Yeah.
only reason you hang out with me." And so, like, eventually I'm gonna walk in, I'm gonna find out you've been like a stalker, and you've got like stuff like cardboard cutouts of me, and like there actually was a cardboard cutout of me, for the third Wimpy Kid that went around like a lot, and in my local movie theater, somebody ripped the
Mhm.
hand off it. And so I have a picture somewhere with my hand there. Like, I hid behind the thing and I put my actual hand
Yeah.
there. That was pretty funny. But no, that
Yeah.
was weird. Like, and all of my friends, every time they went to that movie theater, would just take a picture and be like, "Oh, I came with Rob." Like,
Hmm.
haha, you're funny.
Is there where you lived? Is there like a lot of what type of movie theaters? Because I know there's really like there's big movie there's like chains like AMC theaters,
Yeah,
or is
yeah,
it or do you guys have like a sort of an independent theater that shows like independent films?
yeah. Brown is incredible because where I live in Providence,
Yeah.
which is where Brown is. For I don't know, like your listeners might not
Yeah.
know where that is.
Now they're gonna stalk you.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah.
But my dorm is on Thayer Street, and on Thayer Street there's an independent movie theater called the Avon Cinema,
Yeah.
and
Oh
it
my
is
God.
so great.
That we have an Avon theater. There's literally a theater in I
Really,
live in Stamford, Connecticut for you stalkers out there. Um
that is
yeah, there's an Avon
that's
theater.
weird.
There's literally it's called the Avon Theater. Is it they show independent films?
Yeah, no, that's exactly what the Avon in Providence does too, and it's the best thing ever because I could see movies there that like I just can't at like the big theaters. And then there's a big theater that's like a 15-20 minute walk from campus, and I don't mind
Hmm.
walking, so yeah.
Yeah.
I saw so many movies my first semester. It was
How many
ridiculous.
movies?
Oh, jeez. I saw at least like 10.
At least
Like, I'm not
10.
even joking. I'm not like, yeah. And I do this really dorky thing where I keep all my movie tickets. Like,
Yeah. I
so
was
like I could probably look through and like see how many I've
hmm
seen like since I went. But no,
yeah.
I saw at
Like
least
independent films or like just films in general.
like films in general. Like
Hmm.
I saw, and it was with like there were a couple weekends where I'd go Friday night with one group of people and I go Saturday night to a different movie with a different group of
Yeah.
people. Just because like movies are my life, you know.
Yeah.
Like
It's
I love
important to
it.
see movie. What's your favorite movie? It's a
I
basic
oh
question. Going
god,
back to
it's
the
yeah,
basics.
it's that is such a tough question. It's always changed. I've ultimately come to the conclusion I don't really have a favorite
I know,
movie.
right? Yeah.
Lately, I've actually been more of a TV person.
TV person.
I've been watching a lot of TV shows. Like nothing. Oh my god, I could rave about Breaking Bad for hours. I
Really?
watched The Sopranos this past summer and I loved it.
That's also on my list. I see is do you ever feel like I heard this a joke about this when you feel it when you're watching a TV show when it ends, you kind of like wake up. You're like, where am I? Like
Yeah, no, like after
what's
Breaking Bad
happened?
ended, I just thought, well, that's because
What do we do now?
yeah, no, I watched Breaking Bad
Three
summer of
months have gone
2000.
by. What?
Yeah. No, but I watched Breaking Bad summer of 2013. I watched like I watched it when they only had 8 episodes left, and I caught up with it in time for the last 8 episodes, like the
Wow.
last half season they released.
Hmm.
And Breaking Bad was like my life for a good 3 to 4 months, and then as soon as the finale was over, I was just like, well, that's it. Now
Hmm.
they have Better Call Saul, which I'm a big fan of, even though a
Yeah.
lot of my friends, it's a very different show
Yeah.
but I like it just as much. Like if Breaking Bad is about somebody becoming a scumbag and enjoying it and not wanting to go back, Better Call Saul is kind of like the opposite of that, where you've got a guy who wants to be a good guy, but he just can't be. Like he
Hmm.
finds that he can, the only
Hmm.
thing he's good at and the only way he can really get things done in like based around like his whole like character dynamics blah 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 like his family is just kind of being a bit of a jerk, you know.
Hmm. Like I love Bob Odenkirk. I think he's an
Oh my god,
amazing
yeah,
actor.
he's so funny in Better Call Saul.
Yeah. Have you seen No, because I think my favorite. I recently I think the last series I watched fully was it was either I think it was either True Blood or what was it? I think it was True Blood. I'm in the middle of the Night Manager, but I think before that it was I'm just gonna say True Blood. It was probably something else. But I
Mm-hmm.
said what happened was I finished it. I was like, well, oh no, Shameless. Shameless was the last one. I'm still working on Shame. Have you seen Shameless?
I have not,
That's
but
an
I've heard
amazing.
good things.
It's an
I've heard
amazing
good
show
things.
because I might be actually interviewing one of one of the kids on the
Oh,
show,
that's awesome.
Carl Gallagher.
Okay.
Might be, I have no idea. See, I liked how I got to the interview with you because it was I like sort of personal. I like sort of that because I know your dad's your manager, right?
Yeah, like technically, yeah. He's
Technically.
kind of, yeah, like he is.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of like, yeah. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. I see because he's my dad. I see it more as like him being my dad. But
Just
like I
running your
don't know.
life. He has
Well,
a
I wouldn't.
because I mean he has a management company, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like he actually does.
He's
So
like your
yeah,
prime
no, I
premier
mean
employee.
he
Yeah.
is in essence my
Does he?
manager.
Yeah.
Yes.
Does he sort of? Does he sort of? Is he sort of biased to you in terms of roles?
Actually, no,
No,
not at all.
really.
No.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah, no, I prefer it that way.
Mm-hmm.
I yeah, no, I prefer it for sure that way.
Mm-hmm.
I would argue he does more for his like other clients than for me. Like he leaves that more to my agent and myself, and I
Mm-hmm.
respect that a lot.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm afraid that. Do you think maybe he's afraid that, if he kept giving everything to you, then everybody would like cause a riot? It'd be like, I want a role. I want a
Yeah,
role.
like a mutiny. Yeah. No, I don't know. No, I think he's
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Yeah. But he treats each of his clients equally, which like he should. It's just
Mm-hmm.
the right way of doing things, you know.
Yeah. So did you decide to go to him, or did he like say like, okay, you're joining me, you're joining mine, or did you have a choice?
Well, it was just kind of one of those things where like
Yeah.
I wasn't going to say no
Yeah.
for
It's like
multiple reasons. Like one, I live under the guy's roof, and two,
if you say no, it's gonna be kind of awkward to live.
yeah. No, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess technically speaking, I could have said no, but it would have been like
It's like I want to find.
I didn't get like
Yeah.
coerced into it or anything like that. It was just like, no, he's actually pretty
Yeah.
good. Like we
Hmm.
figured it out together.
Yeah. But going through managers is kind of. I kind of it's a weird process because they're very business because a lot of them are very business like
Oh
and
yeah.
it's intimidating.
Oh
And
yeah.
I, because a lot of the time, I feel like if I just asked the person, they'd say yes. But then I have to go through the manager,
Mm.
and then there's like the middleman says no, but the person wants to, so it's kind of difficult sometimes.
Yeah.
Hmm. Do you So like, how did you have an agent before you filmed Diary of a Wimpy Kid?
Yeah, like the first agent I ever had was an agent in Boston called Model Club.
Hmm.
And
Model
the set
Club.
yes, Model
Okay.
Club. Yes. And they also did acting, but they
Okay.
primarily did like modeling
Yeah,
stuff.
it sort of
Yeah.
name speaks for
And
itself.
yeah. And the second agent I had was this agency called Generation TV, and it was there I got
Yeah.
Wimpy Kid. And
Okay.
then there I went to this agent in California called Osbrink for a little while, and then eventually I went to my current agent is Innovative in New York.
Innovative. Yeah.
Yeah.
How long into your career did it take you to get an agent?
It was actually pretty quick, honestly. I got Model Club pretty quickly.
Like how like what did you do before you got your model club?
Before before I got my agent,
Yeah.
I really only did one thing that I actually got paid for. I was in there's this theater in Providence called Trinity Repertory Company,
Yeah.
and really good theater. I owe a lot, like as much as I owe to Wimpy Kid, I would say I also probably owe to Trinity because
Cuz they
that's where I really started out there. Because when I first started out with acting,
yeah.
it was an after school. When I was in elementary school, it was an after school class in third grade taught by that theater, by like their educational department. That's what got
Mhm.
me into acting in the first place. And
Yeah.
so, if it hadn't been for that, I probably never would have gotten to acting.
How did you what was your how did you did you start in local theater?
Yeah, no,
Mhm.
I did like the after school class, and the people that taught the class after we did the play that we did, which we wrote ourselves. It was
Mhm.
called Super Baby Save Halloween. I played Spider Baby,
Mhm.
arguably my most prestigious part.
Your most prestigious part.
Yes, and then so I did that, and then the people that taught the class said, "Hey, they went up to my parents and said, "Hey, your son's actually pretty good. Like, if he wants, he could take classes at the actual theater. Like, we do another thing there." And so my
Mhm.
parents like thought about it, and they asked me if I wanted to, and I was like, "Yeah, no, I enjoyed that class. Let's keep doing it." So I ended up taking classes there for a while,
Yeah.
and uh, after that, I auditioned for A Christmas Carol. I got in, And then people that were in that said, "Hey, your son's pretty good. He should keep doing this. I enjoyed it a lot." And so yeah, I just from there, it was right after that. My dad and I were talking. He was like, "Well, would you want to try maybe going into film too?" And I was like, "Yeah, why not?" And so I did. I got Model Club, and then I did Bride Wars and Sorcerer's Apprentice. Really
cool.
small role in that, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Wimpy Kid happened, and so I'm
Yeah.
really, really thankful for that.
Yeah. I've been doing a lot of comedy classes, so yeah. So it's really cool when you have was it cool to have an agent where you're like, I have an agent, yeah, I'm an agent.
Yeah, no, it's that's another question I often get a lot. Everybody's like, "Oh, you were in movies, so you have like an agent." And a lot of people want to get started themselves, and so they ask like what agent I have and how they got that far and like how to start out with. There are definitely like different level like tier agencies.
Yeah.
Like, because I mean, you can't start out with like William Morris or like Creative Artists or something like that. Like those guys are like really high up.
They represent Spielberg.
Yes. Yeah. No, like people like that. Like not even joking. That's like a lot.
Yeah.
Heavy duty stuff.
So, which agency have you found to be the best for you?
I don't know. I think they were all good for me at. I know this is going to sound like a bit of a cop out answer, but I think they were all good for me at the stage I had them.
Yeah.
For sure, because like that's honestly how it should work. Like Generation, like I was just kind of starting out, and they were just kind of starting out too. And so they overall, because of Wimpy Kid and whatnot, Generation TV probably did the most for me. Like at that point in my life,
they got you Wimpy Kid. Did they get you Wimpy Kid?
Well, they got me the audition for Wimpy Kid. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, I will always kind of accredit them at least some part for that. For sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I kind of have to give it to them in terms of like, oh, they did the most.
Yeah. I do have to ask you a question that, I also want to sort of get into acting actually because I took an acting class and I thought it was really fun. And I was on my friend's set and I was doing this role and I was like, you have a really good my friend said I had really good acting sort of instincts. And I was like, oh, I don't know that. So, like, what would you recommend? How would I get into acting?
Like, pursue acting?
Yeah, pursue acting. Because I know I want to sort of take because I know, like, like people, there's certain people who take, because I want to sort of do acting because, well, it's fun, obviously. And then I sort of want to do stand-up comedy on the side, which will help me, like, get,
Oh, there are plenty of people that do both.
Yeah, I'd like to do both, but I'd sort of want to sort of jumpstart acting more. So how would I do that?
I mean, I would say if your school has a drama club or something like that, do that. If you mean in terms of like looking at an agent, I would just look into local agencies and just kind of submit yourself. Like when I tried out for Generation TV, my dad wrote a letter to 5 different agencies in New York, and Generation TV was the only one that responded right off the bat. And so I ended up going with them, and then things worked out. But I would definitely say if you want to get involved with like film and whatnot.
Yeah, I really liked film. What happened was it was a class where you do everything. You do some film, you do some TV sitcom, you do some TV drama, you do some soap opera, and I really loved film. Like film, I think I loved the most. So. So
yeah, no.
But also because I do have this podcast which I'm trying to get bigger and so
yeah, I think yeah, I mean, like I said, local agencies would definitely be pretty great. I think the podcast thing you're doing is really unique.
Yeah,
I think it's something you should definitely, even for college, talk about that.
Of course, yeah, that's
like,
my
that
first thing I talk about.
Like, I didn't know anybody in my high school who had their own podcast and had like a decent following either.
That's why that's what I want. That's why I sort of what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get a press release into the local paper so people will hear, because people, because I got one of my interviewees' parents say like we really love your interviews and I want more people to see them, and that's the problem. It's really hard to do
Mm.
because I do you ever hear, I don't know if you ever hear like people say like do social media. Social media is key. But if you don't know, if you can't keep writing things and then nobody sees them, so it's really impossible to get a follow. It sort of seems untangible to me to get a following on social
Yeah.
media because you're writing things, but then nobody's seeing them. How do you get people to see it in the first place? That's what I'm kind of.
Yeah, no, that's it's tough. I mean, in that case, like something I never did that's recommended you do, and I don't know,
Yeah,
maybe I should have, was have a publicist.
yeah,
But that's different than an agent and a
yeah,
manager, and that just
hmm
it just adds more expenses at the end.
yeah.
Like
That's why I use my mom.
let's say I got let's yeah. No, let's say you get paid like $10 to do something. It's like, okay, well, a buck of this has to go to my agent because they got me the part, and then a buck of this
Yeah,
has to go to my manager because
yeah,
I got this, and then a buck of this has to go to my publicist, and then a
hmm
buck of this has to go, and then you end up with
yeah.
like three out of
But
$10.
I guess that's kind of complicated because isn't your dad's your manager? So how does that work?
Well, yeah, no, it's kind of yeah, it's like I don't know. I like that is that you hear a lot of horror stories about that.
hmm
And that's why, like with the Screen Actors Guild, they have this thing called the Coogan account. What a
hmm
Coogan account does is it takes, I believe, 18% of every paycheck you get, and it
Yeah.
puts it into a trust fund,
Okay.
basically, that you're not allowed to access until you're 18. And the reason for that is because there was this kid named like Jackie Coogan who like made a crap ton of money,
hmm
but his parents spent it all. So by the time he was old enough
Yeah.
and he realized what his parents had done, he was ticked off,
I heard about
understandably.
that. I think I heard something about
Yeah,
that where somebody's parents, they would keep taking the money from the parents would keep taking the money from the children, and that's when they started making these laws that I think things couldn't be done like that, right?
yeah, no, exactly. Like, yeah,
hmm So, do you have a method when it comes to acting? Do you have a
yeah.
how do you do it?
I
What's the
took a
secret?
I actually took an acting class my first semester,
hmm
and one of the things it really taught me was that I have a very specific way of acting. It's kind of weird in the
Yeah.
sense that like I don't know. I literally just do it. But once I do it, my my teacher told me this, and I kind of agree with this, and it's
hmm
something I'd like to maybe change, but
Yeah.
me being me, we'll see. Is that I tend to edit my performances, and what I mean by that is I'll read a scene, and I'll
hmm
read a specific way of how I'm supposed to do that,
Yeah.
and because of that, once I find it that way, I kind of shut down, and I have that like be the way.
hmm Because
So, so
what does your teacher want you to do? Sort of.
the thing is it was a theater acting class first and foremost, and she taught us like how
Okay.
theater acting is kind of like overplaying things, kind of.
hmm
Overplaying might not be the right word, but you know what
Yeah.
I mean. It's being a bit
Yeah.
more like it's live,
Be
so you
more
want to
over
take
the top.
advantage of that.
Yeah.
Right, where film acting is more the subtleties of things, and
hmm
I personally just appreciate that a lot more. And
hmm
subsequently, she even said like you were very much a film actor. That doesn't mean
Yeah.
I can't do theater, but
Yeah.
you're more suited for film.
Yeah. Because you had
But in
done it a lot
terms,
more, I'm guessing, right?
well, yeah, like it's weird. Like I've done my fair share of theater, but it was like high school drama club, which counts, but at the same time doesn't count
hmm
compared because like it counts on the
hmm
level that it's acting. Like I would, but in terms of when you compare it to what I've done in film so far, like it's different levels of like I don't
hmm
know. Like the films had a more of an outreach. I got paid for it. I was on a bit more.
hmm
There was more just pressure involved, is what I mean to say.
Yeah. I know because I mean I know you said if you want to do high school drama, and thing is I find a lot of the drama kids really weird. Drama kids, well, drama kids in general, it's like some of them, it depends, I think, where you are, but a lot of them, like I've even on the set of this show I was doing with my friend, a lot of the actresses were just they'd be it's like a personality I find.
Yes, like no, I'm not. I'm not going to deny. I'm not going to deny that.
hmm
I always. I don't know. I think I got lucky in that in my drama club, a lot of the kids were like. I mean, there were definitely some kids that were a little like I don't know the word, but
Over the top, like sort of.
sure, yes, no, there it definitely
That's
gets
what
that
I
amount of
find.
people. But like at the end, we'd always in March every year we'd have one play that we take to like the local like state festival
Yeah, that's what we do do.
where
What
like
do you have like?
yeah.
Do you have like you go to Rhode Island? So do you do like Rhode Island Drama Association?
Yeah, it's like Rhode Island, like yeah, something along those
We have
lines.
the Connecticut Drama Association, so that's what we do.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, but so and then there's like 13 plays, 11 plays over the course of like a day and a half, and I always enjoyed it because I liked watching all the plays. But like some of the people were very
hmm
very over the top. So like I get what you're saying, but it's
hmm
also entirely dependent on where you're from. Like there's a lot of variables that go into it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm from usually because I'm Stamford, Connecticut. It's a probably haven't heard of it. Um.
No, I actually have. I
Oh,
think
really?
yeah. No, I mean I've heard about it like in passing, and I think The Office they even talk about having like
Oh, yeah. They had a they. It was that
a
was kind of funny.
branch
They had a
in
branch in
Stamford.
Stamford, Connecticut.
Yeah,
That was really
Thunder
funny.
Mifflin.
Dunder Mifflin and
Yeah,
Stamford. Yeah, my parents also because they also want. I got The Office from them. They said they also got a kick out of that.
yeah,
Um,
no, exactly.
yeah, but what happens is, I mean, it's not like a city where it's known for people aren't really weird in the city. It's not like maybe Las Vegas or New
Hmm.
Orleans where people there's like a set personality. There's a lot of different personalities, but the people who typically join our drama club they're not they're very nice people. It's just they don't really fit my personality. Like I have a very calm demeanor. I'm a very
Yeah, I've I've always found myself kind of weird in that, especially in high school. I'm
hmm
very adaptable. Like I definitely liked some people more than others, but I always
yeah
got along with everybody. You know?
yeah. Like I always got like, but like some people are just oof. Uh,
No, I get that. Believe me, I get that 100%.
like I like a lot of them. There's a lot of people in my high school who are drama queens.
Oh,
There's a lot. I think, but that's in all high schools. It's not like a exclusive thing. There's a lot.
oh yeah,
There's always the drama queens. It's just I happen to find them in my school. I happen to see them.
yeah.
You know.
I mean, there are people like that in
Yeah.
college too. Which
Uh huh.
honestly, I think the dumbest thing I ever did was go into college expecting there to not be people like that.
hmm
And then, like first semester, I had a class where like there were some of them, and I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
And then I realized that that's just life.
But if you,
It's a kind of
yeah,
an alarming realization to make at uh 18.
yeah.
But yeah, that
What
was
if
when it
you've,
really kind
yeah.
of dawned on me. What were you saying?
No. What if you, what have you sort of found in these drama queens that you speak of? But if like, what's your like definition of like example of what you found? Like, what about them?
Like I'm actually kind of proving your point because like
Yeah.
it was it was actually like my theater acting class. Like there
Yeah.
were just I don't know. There was I liked the majority of the people in that class,
hmm
but there were people that were kind of like what you were saying. It was just
Yeah.
very over the top, and I'm just not like that. And
Yeah.
it got very grating.
Yeah.
And in some
Real-
cases, it was
yeah.
also kind of like malicious too.
hmm
I'm ultimately glad I took that class because I think it taught me a lot about like about myself as an actor.
hmm
But it pretty much taught me that I'm like, and it pretty much taught me that I'm probably gonna focus more on film for
Yeah.
sure.
That's. I didn't teach you anything about theater. It just told you. It just taught you. Okay, so this is not for me. No.
Yeah,
It sort of pushed you towards film. Yeah. So.
yeah. I'm sorry, you came in kind of choppy, so I didn't
I
really
came in.
catch
Oh
most of that.
yeah. I don't know. It's the gloopy Wi-Fi. Uh. So
Yeah, no, it's fine.
yeah. So what was I saying? Yeah. So what happens is whenever I go to a drama meeting, it's like a lot of people are sort of like what we're describing, and so I don't have. I would try to like I try to mingle, but it's kind of hard when people don't meet your personality to try to make friends with.
Mm,
certain people, and it's hard to do that. So what would happen is I'd go in there, I'd literally sit alone.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah, and I mean, I know it's not like, I mean, I'm fine with it because, I try to, like, for now, like, I don't even know if I'm gonna still do it because I have too many things to do. But, but yeah, it's just, I found out quickly that based on, being around theater people and then being around sort of film people, that I'm more of a film person. But you like but yeah, but you're more of a film guy. I can
Yeah.
tell.
No. Yeah.
Hmm.
For
What?
sure.
Yeah. What's your favorite film you've been in?
The one I think the best. Well, I need to like. Here's the thing. I want to say the
Not
Polka
like
King, but it's not
yeah.
even out yet.
I wouldn't
So
say I don't want to not like the most important because I know the most probably important for you was Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Like, what's your favorite
yeah,
film that you've been in?
my personal favorite is probably at least that's been released so far is the Way
Yeah,
Way Back.
The Way
I
Way
just
Back.
I really enjoy that movie.
Mm-hmm. What made
I
it
think it
so
was I
fun?
think it was a little underrated. Um, and I think I don't know, but I'm very curious to see how the Polka King turns out because I think that could be really really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, this sounds like you sound like you sound like you're doing well. You're on your way to success. I say these at the end of all my interviews. I say, do you believe you have the drive to be successful?
I think I do. I
Mm-hmm.
think I think I do. I'm very fortunate to be where I'm at right now in life. I'm going to a pretty good school. I mean, the whole
Pretty
movie
good.
thing.
Yeah. I feel like
um,
it's pretty good.
yeah, no, but yeah, like I'm happy where I'm at in college right now. I've got the Polka King coming out at some point this year.
Polka King.
I'm really
Let me
curious
see.
to see where that goes.
Yeah. Let me see. It
Um,
was. I just
yeah,
saw it. It was
I'm,
okay.
I'm just pretty happy where I'm at. Yeah.
Hmm. So thank you. Oh wait, it says January 22nd.
Hold on, yeah. I'm sorry, you're not like
Says
coming in at
oh,
all. It's like
Jan,
frozen.
January 22nd.
Oh yeah, that's when it's at Sundance, and then
Oh, okay.
hopefully it gets a distributor there.
Okay. Yeah. So,
Yeah, no,
th-
it's premiering that day at
mhm.
Sundance, and
Okay.
then yeah, if somebody picks it up, I'm expected to come out in like November maybe.
Okay. Once it gets a distributor.
Yeah,
Okay.
fingers crossed.
So, thank you for your time. This was
Oh
amazing.
yeah, no problem. I enjoyed talking with you. It's
I
cool.
enjoyed. This was really cool. So I'm just gonna do So thank you very much.
Oh
Thank you.
no, thank you. Really, pleasure was all mine. And I'm
Mhm.
really curious to let me know when this is probably going to be out because I'll
It's gonna be out
definitely.
tomorrow.
Oh, great. Okay,
Yeah,
so
it's
I
on
will
my
probably
schedule.
listen to it then. Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
probably listen to it first thing tomorrow. Yeah.
Hmm. So Robert Capron, he's gonna be in the new movie The Polka King, which is going to be out in Sundance on January 22nd and wide release on an unknown date or even
Yeah.
still
We'll
hopeful.
see.
So thank you
Fingers
very
crossed.
much. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. Really, pleasure's all mine. All right. Thanks, Andrew.
Thank you.